Well, good morning, students. This is our third class in third unit, right? We're entirely starting with our first period. It is a 21st session. Okay. Already we have started a third unit and we have completed two sessions. On the two sessions, we have discussed about the transportation, right? What is transportation and what are the modes of transportation? We have covered all those things. And as a conclusion, we are moving to the design options for transportation network. What are the different types of network available in the transportation mode to make our transportation processes a successful one? Sir, my voice is audible or not, sir? Sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible and screen is visible.
Okay, sir. So to start with the today's topic, we need to identify the different type of networks. What are the available types of network in local markets, right? So before that, what is the need of doing this design? Design means we need to choose a right path for our transportation. Okay. And before entering to this topic, we will discuss the points with respect to different type of transportations. We have completed these transportations, right? Truck, rail, air, water, and pipeline. Okay, we have completed this five transportation. And with respect to individual transportation mode, what are the key points? If you know the key points, then you can write in your answers with respect to the key points. So regarding the truck, it is the easily accessible one, right? And it's fast and versatile. Versatile, which means it can be able to shift different type of products or different shape of products. That's a versatile. It's applicable for different products, and the customer service will be good while using the truck mode. On the other hand, if you are considering about the limitations, the capacity of truck is limited. Comparing with the rail and the air transport, the capacity, the maximum quantity that can be transferred or that can be shipped, it will be less while using the truck. And the cost is more for a short distance because of the handling charge is there while using the truck. So the handling charge and also the cost on transportation will be more in truck. Now, for considering the second case, rail transport. In rail transport, since we have a since we have a limitation in truck, the capacity is limited. That same will be a strength on rail. Okay, it is a high capacity can be implemented in rail transport, okay. And the cost will be less. Once if it is shipped to the rail transport mode, then the cost will be less comparing with the truck. But on the other hand, it has some limitations, accessibility. In all places, it is not accessible one. Okay. Because it has a fixed railway tracks to move from one location to other location. So it is not accessible in all locations available in our case, in our local places. Then there is the inconsistency in service. What the inconsistent it means, the service will not be same at any time. Because the rail it depends upon the congestion in track, right? Already we discussed about the limitations in rail. If there is any congestion in track, if there is any congestion in the stations, definitely the transportation time will be more, isn't it? So it is inconsistency in service. It will not be able to produce the same kind of service each and every time. That is called as the inconsistency. And regarding the damage rate, okay, the parts the damage rate will be more. Even if you want to transport two wheelers, definitely you need to keep more secure. You need to concentrate on safety. Okay, safety to avoid the damages. And on the third case, if it is a air transport, it is a speed one. Okay. Hence, the time taken to transport will be less. The freight protection and also it is flexibility to move any kind of product from one place to other place through the air mode. And if you are coming to a point of limitation is accessibility, same thing. Okay. The air mode it cannot be accessible in all locations because we need the places for the airports, right? And regarding the cost and capacity, it is applicable for low capacity, and also it will incur the more cost in transportation. Okay, these are the limitations while using the air transport. And fourth one, with respect to the water transport, the high capacity. What are the thing that we have here? For rail transport, it is applicable for water transport also. It is applicable for a high capacity with a low cost. And the additional with the rail advantages, it has an additional advantage, that is international capability. Okay, that is the added advantage with the water. You can add this the same advantage for air also. The air is also it's applicable for international capability. On opposite hand, opposite side, regarding the limitation, the water transport will be slow. The transportation time will be more, and the accessibility will be less, because we need the harbor to transfer the part. All the components have to be shipped to the harbor. Then only we can start the water transport, isn't it? Okay. So the accessibility is comparatively less with respect to the water. Then the last one, it's a pipeline. It's a transit storage and efficient with low cost. These are the advantages for pipeline. And the disadvantages means definitely there is a limited network. Okay, we need to fix a path through which we need to transfer the material, especially the gas and liquid, isn't it? So definitely it has a limited path. So network is limited with respect to the area, and also it is a slow in transportation. That is, it will take more time to transport. And these are the primary role for each transport mode. Already we discussed about the each transport and what are the primary modes for all those things we have covered in our previous sessions. Okay. And we can consider the primary products. What are the for which products the different type of transport mode is applicable? Especially for high value finished goods and low volume, we can choose the truck. Okay. And for low value raw material for the high volume, here it is applicable for low volume. But if you want to ship the high volume of material, then you can choose the rail transport. Rail transport and also the water transport. It is applicable for high volume. Okay, rail and water both are applicable for high volume. And regarding the raw material is one, which are the raw parts. Before making any product, the material is called as the raw material. You can consider the coal as raw material for which is used in our power plants. Okay. So definitely the coal will be transferred through the rail containers and water, through water. And regarding the air, the high value parts, high value, which are, they are worth in money as well as worth in its finishing. For all those products, we will prefer the air transport. Okay, and there is the time sensitive. Time sensitive in our shipping, we need the air transport. Time sensitive, it need to be reached on particular location within the stipulated time. Then we can use the air transport. Then coming to the water, as I told earlier, it is applicable for high volume. Okay, there is a bulk commodities, which is high volume. Then if it is a containerized goods, then we can choose the water transport method. For raw material and low value product. Low value is the product is not worth with that much cost, then we can prefer the water transport. If it is a more cost material, then definitely we need to move on with the air transport. And these are the examples what we can ship using truck. Using truck is applicable for food, clothing, electronics, and furniture. Then second, using the rail transport, coal, papers, grains, and chemicals. The computer, peripheral, because these are the items which is having a high value. The computers, peripherals, okay, the parameters and business to okay. Leave this fourth one. The first three we can consider. The first three is applicable with air. The air transport is perfectly suitable for these three because they are high value and finished goods. Okay. And for the fourth one, water transport, the crude oil, minerals, farm products, clothes, and all those things can be transferred with the sea mode. And the pipeline, it is applicable for petroleum products, petroleum, natural gas, crude oil, all those things we will be preferring the pipeline. So once you recall this table, recall this image, you can write entirely about the different type of transmodes. Okay. Make a snapshot of this, otherwise I will be posting the PPT in class group, you can take from that. And now we can consider about the what are the different factors, what are the factors affecting the transportation decision. The factors are considered in two cases, uh, carrier and shipper. And apart from these two, we can classify the factors in different category. A factor based on the cost, a factor based on the environmental fact, a factor based on the infrastructure, a factor based on the product. Okay. Depends upon these four factors, we can decide the different type of transportation made. First, we will consider the product. Okay. And in any book, you may not find these factors clearly. So keep that in mind. If you want to write the factors, you can consider the factors in four different cases. The first one, your factors regarding the part. What kind of part we are having, whether it's a raw material or it's a finished part, whether we need to transport with respect to the high volume or low volume, and regarding the value of product, it's a high value product or low value product. With respect to that, we will be selecting the transportation. Okay, you can choose this one. These are the factors. And second thing, coming to the economic category. In economic category, what is the total cost incurred for the product to transport? Okay. Regarding the cost and also the time. Whether if it is a time sensitive, we need to choose the year. If it is not a time sensitive, we can choose the other mode. Okay. So it is the factor with respect to economic. So in economic, we need to consider the cost for transport and also the time taken for the transport. Okay. Then third one is the geological factor. Okay. While we are transporting the material, how we can consider the climatic condition on the existing on the place. Okay, we will be considering that factor. And fourth one is the infrastructure. What kind of infrastructure we are having? Because I haven't added these 4 points here. Okay, but while uploading the PPT, I will be including that 4 points. Under the 4 headings, you can write the division. But apart from that, we can have the factors with respect to the carrier and shipper. A carrier, they are the party, those who move or transport the product from one location to other location. And the shipper, they are the owner. They need those who need to transport. Okay. Those want to need the transfer of material, they are called as the shipper. The carrier, those who are involved in transporting the material, they are called as the carrier. And with respect to the carrier, the vehicle related cost, fixed operation cost, and the trip related cost. We can consider three categories. A vehicle related cost, which means there is the maintenance, right? There will be a regular maintenance in a vehicle. So that will be considered as the cost related, that is vehicle related cost. Okay. So we can consider a cost. What cost we can consider is a maintenance cost. Okay, it's having somewhat problem with making. Okay, right, wait. The maintenance cost, and second is fixed operating cost. Fixed operating cost is the cost incurred for a product in fixed mode. That is the tax, it need to be paid 3 months once. That is a fixed cost. Okay, and the rent that has to be given for parking the vehicle is the fixed cost. All those things are considered the fixed cost. Then the trip related cost. The trip related cost, it depends upon the trip. Okay, if you are starting any one trip, definitely the cost incurred for toll, the toll charges and the fuel charges and the additional charges accountable with respect to the driver benefits, all those things are considered as the trip related cost. If for carrier, he will decide the different type of transport by considering these three costs. Okay. On opposite side, in point of view of shipper, the three costs are being considered: transportation cost, inventory cost, and facility cost. Their transportation cost, they will be considering which transport is easy for them, for to assess and also to handle. All those things will be considered as the transportation cost. And the inventory cost is one already know about the inventory. In previous units, sir have completed what about the inventory. The inventory is considered as a storage, okay, keeping the product in the plant itself. Okay. So for keeping the product in the plant itself, what are the costs involving on that activity? They are called as the inventory cost. And the third one is the facility cost. Facility cost is one which can consider under the handling, okay, handling of material and arranging the transportation and arranging the storage room, that is facility, arranging the storage room and giving the wages for the people those who are involving in storage. All those things will be considered as the facility cost. By considering these costs, the shipper and the carrier, they will make a decision regarding the type of transport. Okay, so apart from this, I have given four more points, right? The decision based on cost, decision based on product, decision based on infrastructure, and decision based on considered for transporting the product. So now we can enter a design option for a transportation network. And regarding this, the transportation network definitely it will be affected. What type of network we are following, definitely it will be affected with respect to the infrastructure. We need to plan a well-established network which is suitable to transfer or to ship our product from the supplier location to the buyer location. So this is our ultimate aim, and our ultimate aim is based on two road. First road, we need to provide a better supply, okay, better service in the sense it need to give a product in low cost and also in time sensitive manner. Okay, it need to reach the buyer in time and also with the low cost. Okay. And second thing we can consider the damage on the product must be avoided during the transportation. So based on these points, now keeping these points in our mind, we need to choose the correct type of transportation network. Okay. And the answers for these questions must be given. Okay, the answers for these questions must be given. What are the transportation options? So we need to know how many possible networks we have in our run. Depends upon, suppose if we are considering the Indian markets, what are the available transportation mode for us for transferring the product from one location to other location. And second, which one to select among the available total transport, what we need to select. And we have to justify the reason. We have to justify for our selection. Okay, why we are choosing the particular. Whether we have made the decision based on the cost, whether we have made the decision based on the time sensitive, whether we have made the decision based on the product features, that is the value, volume, and the finishing. So on what basis we are choosing such kind of transportation? We need to give the entire details in as our output. Okay. So to give the details of all these things, first we should know what are the available transportation methods in our practical cases. Again, these are the available methods. A first transportation network is direct shipping network. The second, direct shipping with milk run. A third one, a shipping with central DC. DC, which is a distribution center. Okay, DC is a distribution center. So shipment via DC, and under this network, different types. Okay, distribution center with the storage and the distribution center with the cross taking. And fourth one is shipping via DC using milk run, and the next one is the tailored transport. These are the familiar transports which we are transport network which we are using in all markets. Okay. So we will discuss each and every network in our next slides. Okay, and we will consolidate all the points and we need to compare all the networks. We need to
Bharati Narayanan, mute your mic. Badri Narayanan, sorry, Badri Narayanan, mute your mic.
We need to compare all the networks in point of advantage and disadvantages, and we need to give a decision, because in previous case we have said on what basis we are doing. So we can take one example as case study, and we can decide which type of network we are going to choose for the particular example. Okay. So starting with the first one, direct shipping network. So this is a direct shipping network. By the name itself, we can identify the process here. Okay. So a direct shipping, a product or part, it will be shipped directly from the supplier or manufacturer to the buyer. It is a direct shipping network. Okay. If you are considering any one supplier, and from the corresponding supplier, if it is want to given to some buyer, directly it will be shipped from here to that. Okay. So, what will be the advantage of using this kind of network? So, before stating about the advantages, the buyer structures his transportation network so that all shipments come directly from each supplier to the buyer. So, we can plan the structure where the part has to be shipped, and where we will where we will be getting our part. All those things can be decided. And the supply chain manager, what is his role here? He need to decide the quantity to ship and the mode. Okay. What is the required quantity to ship from the location? From here, what is the required amount that to be shipped? And also, what is the type of transportation we need? Okay. That decision has to be taken by the supply chain manager, and the structure will be framed by buyer. So, what would be the advantage of using this kind of shipping? Can anyone can anyone open your mouth? What can be the advantage in your point of view? What do you think about the advantages? Anyone, right? You want to mention the name? Sir, Saran sir, can you please mention anyone?
Durga Devi, yes. Durga Devi, yes. Just unmute and answer. Harish Kumar V.
See, from my next class, if you are not open your mouth, definitely I'm going to put absent, guys. Okay. Because we are in online mode, at least we need to open our mouth. If you are not able to unmute yourself, then what kind it is? I don't know. You are going to be an engineer in next 6 months, right? So you need to follow the ethic of engineers. Right, okay. Skip, I will come to discuss in last second. And considering about the advantages, okay. There is the elimination of intermediate warehouse. Okay. From the supplier location, the product is being transferred to the buyer location directly. So there is no requirement of any intermediate storage rooms. Okay. So the cost incurred for any intermediate storage is being avoided here. That is the major advantage while using this kind. And second one advantage is that, consider this case, from this supplier a part is sent to this buyer. Okay. And from this supplier a part is distributed to this supplier. And definitely the one plant will not affect with other. Right? Here we have a separate plant for this buyer, and here we have a separate plant for this buyer. So definitely the one line of transport, it will not disturb the other. That will be the one more advantage here. Okay. So simplicity in operation and the coordination. The coordination, which means I am saying one will not disturb the other. It is called as the coordination on that. And since the product or part is directly shipped from the supplier to the buyer, it is simple in operation. And what is the disadvantages? In disadvantage point, it tends to be costlier for small buyer. Okay, obviously we need to accept this point. Definitely it will be a costly for a smaller buyer location. If the quantity is very small quantity they want to buy, further definitely the cost incurred on transportation will be more comparing with the buyer those who are purchasing from the moving. So, depends upon the quantity. Whatever the quantity we are shipping, whether the quantity is in terms of thousand or whether the quantity is in terms of lakh numbers. Okay, whatever the case, definitely there is the fixed cost. The fixed cost is high in terms in truck. Already we discussed about it. Okay, so that will be a disadvantage here because a single supplier at a time a supplier he is dealing only with a single buyer. Okay, so for this case, the fixed cost incurred for the truck will be more. That will be considered as the disadvantage here. And the third one, receiving costs are also high. So a receiving cost is also high. Why it is considered as high? The product is transferred from one buyer to one supplier to one buyer. So definitely all the costs incurred for this trip, for that single trip, all the costs incurred that will comes under the cost of product. Okay, that will be included in cost of product. So definitely there will be a high cost in receiving the part. Okay, so these are the advantage and disadvantage for this transport method. And what are the features we can consider with this? Here there is the involvement of only two people, a single buyer and single supplier. Okay. So the entire decision can be made in local, yeah, one to one. So the entire decision is completely depends upon the one to one. Then second, the decision made for one shipment does not influence others. That I told in advantage itself. Okay. The decision made by one shipment. There is a one shipment. This one shipment, it will not disturb the second one. That is, I can add the advantage also. Then the transportation time is short. Okay. If this buyer is ready to receive the material, then immediately the part can be shipped. There is no need of any waiting for getting the concurrent from other buyers or other suppliers. Okay, because there is only involvement of one buyer and one supplier. Okay. So the transportation time is short and it can be justified for the truck load. The truck load it is the maximum capacity load. If you are using the maximum capacity load, it can be justified easily. Okay, if the truck is completely utilized, the truck is working with maximum truck load. TL means truck load. We have covered in our last session. If it is working with the truck load, then definitely we can justify this network. This network is highly suitable for this case. And this regarding direct shipping network. And coming to the next one, second case, direct shipping with milk run. So by considering this image flowchart, just through with the flowchart, go through with it, and try to identify the difference between these two. Okay, these two are separate. Identify the difference between these two and identify the difference between this flowchart and the previous one, direct shipping network. A direct shipping network with milk run, which means the shipping is direct. Okay, there is no option. The supplier, they are shipping the product directly to the buyer, but it is not a single buyer. Okay, can you see the difference? Here, the supplier he is shipping the part to a single buyer. For second buyer, separate transportation line. Third buyer, a separate dish. Okay. So there is the transportation between a single supplier and single buyer. But here, a supplier, he will be a single supplier, he will be supplying the parts to different buyers, but all will be considered in a single trip. Okay. So in this one trip, he is covering three buyers, right? Three buyers are being benefited by a single supplier. And here, by the single supplier, the next three buyers are being benefited. And see the difference between these two. The buyer is single, but there will be the number of supply. Okay, these three products. Here it is product one, here it is a second product, and here it is a third product. Okay, these three parts combinedly has to be supplied for a single buyer. Okay, so single buyer to multiple, sorry, single supplier to multiple buyers, or multiple suppliers to a single buyer. This type of transportation network is called as the direct shipping with milk run. Okay, you understand? Single supplier to multiple buyer, or multiple supplier to single buyer. Okay, so all these three parts are received by a single buyer. Okay, and regarding this, there is no need to explain anything else with this. Okay, because in the flowchart you know well about this, and we will discuss the advantage and disadvantage of this case. So regarding the advantages, definitely the transportation cost is reduced, isn't it? The transportation cost is reduced here because a single supplier, he is covering three buyers, right? So the transportation cost incurred for the particular supply will be less than the best utilization of truck. So how do you justify it is the best utilization of truck? Coming to the previous case, and say here we are choosing this supplier. Here he is a supplier S6. Okay, he want to supply the part for this buyer B6. Buyer B6, and they are using the truck or intermediate. The transport is a truck. They are using truck to transport. The capacity of truck, truck is around 10 ton. Okay, just imagine the capacity of truck is around 10 ton. Okay, the capacity it is 10 ton. Okay, but this particular buyer, he need only 3 tons. What will happen? This particular buyer, he needs only 3 tons. Okay, his requirement is 3. He need only 3 tons. So remaining 7 ton, he needs only 3 tons. Okay, so the truck will be empty with respect to the 7 ton, but the fixed cost is constant. The tip cost is constant. Okay, so that the cost of shipping will be more in this case. But the same supplier, if you are supplying the part to other buyers, for the buyers 5, buyer 4, for other buyer if he is supplying, suppose this buyer he need 2 tons. Okay, and the next buyer he need 5 tons. So that the single supplier S6, he can cover the single supplier, he can cover 3 buyers, right? 3 buyers will be covered: buyer 4, buyer 5, and buyer 6, because the truck capacity is 10 ton. So since he is covering the 3 suppliers, definitely the cost of product will be less. Okay, that is the added advantage in that case. Understand? This is the added advantage. A single supplier, if he covers 3 buyer, okay, then the transportation charge will be minimum, and the truck will be utilized completely, so that the cost incurred for a single trip, it will be shared by all the buyers. Okay, the receiving cost will be less. Previous case we told, no, the receiving cost was high for direct shipping from one buyer to one supplier to one buyer. The receiving cost will be high, but definitely that will be the added advantage here. The receiving cost for a buyer will be low. Okay, and the situation we need to identify when we need to use this kind of transportation network. So it is used for frequent deliveries. Okay, It has to be used for frequent deliveries in small quantities. At that time, we can choose this type of transport. And also one more thing, the retailer is in geographic proximity. Geographically, the proximity location, which means the supplier and buyers, they must be in nearby distances. Okay, we are choosing three buyers. Okay, three buyers. One buyer is in Chennai, another second one is in Trichy, and third one is in Madurai. We may not choose that kind of buyers. Okay, the buyers they must be available in nearby distances. Then only we can choose the milk run. Milk run, right? This is called as the milk run. Continuously covering two or three members, the type of supply is called as the milk run. Okay. So today we have covered two networks. One is direct shipping. There's a single supplier to single buyer, and we discussed what are the advantages and disadvantages with respect to that kind of network. And second is direct shipping with milk run. Okay. So a multiple suppliers for a single buyer or a single supplier for multiple buyer. Okay, it is called as the direct shipping with milk run, and we discussed the advantages and disadvantages and what are the conditions when we have to use this kind of network. And we will cover the remaining transportation network in our next sessions. Okay, now shall we start to discuss? Ashwini from A section. Stop recording, sir. Yeah, Ashwini, just unmute your mic. Yeah. Is there any issues regarding it?